Welcome to Intuitive Flow, hosted by me, Michaela Wallet, an intuitive who uses neuroscience to reprogram your subconscious and trained intuition to get to the root cause of your problems to help you create a life that you don't need a vacation from. You've landed in the place you need to be to hear the no bullshit truth about why you keep repeating the same love and money patterns and how to finally break them. This podcast is here to wake you up. It's time to stop living as the watered down version of yourself and step unapologetically into the woman you came here to be. The woman who trusts herself deeply, holds powerful standards, and naturally attracts the love, money, and life she desires. Let's flow. Hey guys, welcome back to Intuitive Flow with Michaela Wallet. We are going to get into 5 things I did to attract a man who calms me, chooses me, and doesn't leave. If you have ever found yourself saying, why do I keep attracting emotionally unavailable men? Or why does every relationship end the same way? Or are all of the good ones taken? This episode is definitely for you because I used to believe these same exact things. I thought that I had a quote unquote bad picker or that I had horrible luck with men. I was attracting narcissistic men who cheated on me all the time. It wasn't a great time. And I honestly had this belief in my mind that all the good ones are taken or they're gay. Like I would always say that. I would always make this joke of like, all of the hot ones, all of the attractive ones are gay, and then all of the good ones are actually already taken and married and have kids and all of the things. And that's not the ultimate truth. And if that's something that you've said or something that you say often or something that you believe, then whatever you believe to be true is your truth. So you're going to want to start to shift that limiting belief. And I guess that's kind of like a bonus one for you guys today. But after years of healing, of working on my self-love, my self-image, and learning how to trust myself again, I realized that I wasn't attracting the wrong men because I was unlucky or had a bad picker. I was attracting men who matched the subconscious relationship that I had within myself. And once I changed that, everything else started to change as well. So here, let's get into the 5 things. So number 1, and I try to like make these all kind of flow into one into the next. So if you have any questions, shoot me a DM on Instagram and let me know. I love having conversations with you guys in the chat, but also the devotion code, which is my 7-day immersion. It is where we are going to be reprogramming the subconscious patterns and your creator field in 7 days so that you can attract a man who calms you, chooses you, and does not leave. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, make sure you sign up. It actually starts today when you are hearing this. It is already started. We have launched it. The first training is probably already in the chat, but it's a private Telegram community where you have the opportunity to get 7 full days of trainings. Each day is on a new thing. You have a community of women who are in there learning the same things as you, desiring to create the same things as you are in your own life. Whether you're in a relationship or not, this is going to be an awesome opportunity for you to skyrocket your self-love, your self-image, to learn a couple of things that you probably didn't know about energy work. And it's just going to be a great freaking time. So I'm really excited about it. I cannot wait. I've already got such an incredible group of women in there right now, sharing, their intros, talking about themselves, making connections, making friends, because healing can be fucking isolating. Like I did this work in a 250 square foot apartment by myself, right? And I basically did not leave that apartment unless I was going on a walk, going to the gym, going to work, and that was it. And the one thing that I really, really loved about having a community and learning this work was that I got to make friends because they understood me, right? And so that's why I wanted this to not just be another masterclass, but to be an opportunity for you guys to make friends and build a community. And like I said, this Telegram chat isn't going anywhere. So if you want to get in there and we are 3 days in, 4 days in, 5 days in, whatever, a week after the fact, you can still join. You can still get the trainings and you can still make the connections. So do not hesitate, no matter where you're at or how far along we are in the immersion, to join. And you can get all of the informations and the details for that in the show notes below. All right. So number one, how I started to attract a man who calms me, chooses me, and doesn't leave. I stopped waiting for life to start when I met someone, right? So not only did I get so good with where I was at currently, like stopped comparing and looking over the fence at what everyone else had, but I stopped feeling sorry for myself, right? I stopped waiting for life to start when I met someone. So many women postpone their happiness and they've got this mentality of like, oh, when I have the relationship, then I'm going to feel insert XYZ feeling, right? That's the last fucking thing that you want to do. You want to start to give yourself everything that you think having the relationship is going to make you feel. That's huge right there. Maybe having a relationship makes you feel desired. Maybe it makes you feel like your life is going to be more fun. Maybe it makes you feel like you have more purpose or you are more valued. If you cannot feel whatever having a relationship makes you feel without actually having the relationship before having the relationship, then you're just going to push out actually attracting the relationship that makes you feel all of the feelings that you want to feel in a relationship. Go ahead and just take that back and re-listen to that sentence, because that sentence is very powerful and honestly life-changing when you learn how to grasp it and implement it into your actual reality right fucking now. So ask yourself, what do I want to feel in a relationship? Or not, what do I want to feel? Well, that's a good one too. But what do I think that having the relationship is going to make me feel? And then how can I begin to give myself all of those feelings, right? So if it's having more fun, then how can you start to have more fun in your life? What are some passion hobbies that you can pick up? Maybe it's traveling, like, oh, I'll travel when I meet somebody. No, like travel right now. Like take the trip that you would take with your future person. And then when you're on that trip, like travel is such a portal. Like when you're on that trip, start to imagine like what would life look like if you did have somebody there? Like where would you go? What would you go see? And then like go by yourself. You have no idea how powerful that is. You want to, I'm not just saying like act as if, but like do things that you would do if you were in a relationship, because that's what's going to actually make you a magnet for your relationship, for a relationship that you want, because you're already acting like you're in the relationship. You're treating yourself the way that you desire to be treated in your relationship, which I think I talk about, but in later on in this episode, but I digress. So stop putting your life on hold and build a life that you are genuinely excited about, because obviously when you are living a life that you are excited about, you're going to become way more magnetic. When you're happy, you're way more magnetic. When you are living in a higher frequency, in higher frequency emotions, then you're going to become more magnetic. You're going to become somebody who somebody else wants to be around. And also you're putting yourself out there. You're doing more things. You're not just cooped up in your house, right? Doing nothing or working on your shit. Like make sure you go have fun. Okay. Go have fun. Go and do things that you would do even when you are in a relationship, but like do things that light you up. Okay. Okay. Number 2, I learned how to trust myself again. For the longest time, I couldn't trust my own judgment. I didn't trust my own judgment because I felt like I quote unquote fucked up too long, or fucked up my life already. Okay. And eventually what happened is that I woke up and I was like, okay, my reality isn't even my own, because I took everyone else's advice and I implemented it. And then I woke up and I was like, this isn't even like my own life, because my life was made up of what everyone else thought that I should or shouldn't do. And that's when I was like, okay, enough is enough. Like, I need to learn how to trust myself again. And even in relationships, like, I was in a relationship that was heavily influenced by a really close friend of mine at the time. And that she thought, oh my God, he loves you so much. He treats you like this, and this. Like, you should just go for it again. Even though deep down in my gut, intuition knew, like, I knew that that person was not for me, right? But I did it again. And I won't say wasted, but like, I ended up being with that person for another like year and a half. And it was terrible. It was terrible. I was so unhappy. And so it's just like, always trust your intuition, even if it doesn't logically make sense, even if things could be simple or easy, if you trust or if you go into, what's easy or what's simple, and maybe it's like you don't want to be alone, like you've got to learn how to trust that part. And then also like learn how to love being alone again. And number one that we just went over is definitely going to help you do that. Because when you're putting yourself out there and doing things that light you up by yourself, and you stop being afraid of like spending time just by yourself, then you're going to learn how to love your own company again. And this was huge for me. Like when I was single and living in my 250 square foot apartment, like just working on myself, I spent so many nights in having movie nights with myself, or just having nights where I was like journaling and like doing energy work, or having nights where I would take myself out to dinner, or I would go to the grocery store and I would buy myself flowers and I would come home and I would like set them up and make bouquets for myself. I would write love letters to myself. I would go to the beach and read a book by myself. Like I would go to the movies by myself. I just went to the movies by myself. I still do these things even though I'm in a relationship, and there's a reason behind that. And that'll be taught inside of the devotion code. But you've got to trust yourself enough to start to create your own life, even and block out all of the noise that's around you. Because if you just listen to what everyone else is saying that you should or shouldn't do, you're going to wake up one day and your whole life isn't going to be your own. And you're going to end up in relationships that you didn't maybe feel right or aren't right for you. But also, I feel like a lot of women, it's just like, we go through these heartbreaks, these bad relationships where maybe you feel like you stayed too long, or you ignored the red flags, or you chose wrong again. And if you could because these are all things that I have felt, right? And so it's like, you don't trust your own judgment. You begin to think like you're not, you don't have it figured out. Like, and you need to figure it out, but you can't figure it out because you've got all of this, you've got this little voice inside of your head that's like, well, remember last time, and remember where it led you and how heartbroken you were, and you don't want that to happen again. So you might as well just close your heart off, and you might as well just live your life by yourself. I stopped seeing my past as proof that I couldn't trust myself. And instead, I started using it and seeing it as education, because that's literally what it was, that taught me exactly what I deserved. And it changed everything. So stop seeing your quote unquote failed relationships, or the times that you didn't trust yourself, or maybe you did trust yourself and it led you down a path that you perceived as bad, and flip that and see it as everything in life is happening for you, not to you. Even if you trust your intuition, and maybe that even trusting your intuition led you down a path that you quote unquote perceive right now as bad. Nothing is bad or good. It's all just your own perception of that thing. But like, even if that was the case, it's still happening for you. It's still happening for you. So can you find the neutrality in that? Can you see how it was happening for you? And maybe there was a lesson that you had to learn in order for you to become the person you needed to become, or need to become, before you meet your husband, right? There were lessons that I had to learn when I started dating again before I met Bryson. And then when I met Bryson, I was like, oh my gosh, like that's why I had to experience that thing because I'm not going to do it again this time, right? I learned my lesson and I'm breaking the toxic cycle. I'm breaking the pattern. So it changes everything. Okay. Number 3, I took radical responsibility. And this isn't, let me just make this clear. This doesn't mean blaming yourself for how someone treated you. It means recognizing that you have the power to change what you repeatedly allow, tolerate, and choose. Blaming men keeps you powerless. Like, it kept me powerless. It's, if all men are trash, and if you believe that, there's literally nothing that you can do, because whatever you believe to be true is your truth. If you believe all men are trash, all the good ones are taken, that's not empowering. It's just believing something that's not the ultimate truth. It is not source truth. It is just a belief that you have taken on because of something in your past that you've experienced that maybe proves it, but you've also got all of this proof around you of healthy relationships, of relationships that you see that are thriving, marriages that you see that are thriving, men that you see who are kind and respectful and are not trash and are loyal. And you know what I'm saying? So it's like, instead of focusing on all of the bad, focus on the good, focus on the possibility, as opposed to the past shit that you maybe have experienced and dwelling on that and then using it as proof that you're never going to find somebody. Because if that's really what you believe, and that's what you're going to create for yourself, you're going to continue to create and manifest lessons into your life, lessons, reflections, same thing, same into your life that don't help you create what you actually are wanting to create. They just make things worse. And we don't want things to be worse. We want things to get better. And in order for that to happen, you're going to have to take radical responsibility and shift the things in your life that are creating things that you don't want to create. Number 4, I learned to decode my dating patterns instead of repeat them. So an example of this could be, I ask myself, why am I always attracted to emotionally unavailable men? Why do they always pull away? Why am I always anxious in relationships? Why do I always become obsessed after one good date? Instead of asking what's wrong with him, I started asking, what is the relationship or the date or my behavioral patterns showing me about me, right? That's where growth actually happened. Instead of blaming or looking at them, I started asking, like, how am I feeling? What am I creating? What do I feel? And how can I take what I was experiencing and see the pattern that I didn't want to experience anymore, figure out what it means, and then shift it so that I don't experience it anymore, right? Instead of blaming the other person if something quote unquote bad happened, asking myself, what's going on within my energy that's creating this, and how can I shift it and experience something different in the next guy that I date or the next relationship that I attract, right? All right, so that has a lot to do with reflections in taking, again, radical responsibility for what you're creating and choosing to do the inner work so that you can heal and create something different. Number 5, last but definitely not least, I became the woman that I was waiting for. Like, I became my dream person. Instead of waiting around for a man to quote unquote complete me, I learned how to complete myself. I learned how to fully unconditionally love myself before having something external of me and making that, like, that's putting so much pressure on the other person. Like, oh, you complete me? Like, what do you mean? No. My other half? Like, no, I am whole without anything external of me, right? Instead of waiting for the man, for Bryson to complete me, I learned how to complete myself. I learned how to give myself all the things that I wanted in a relationship first. I learned how to make myself feel all of the things that I wanted to feel in a romantic relationship. Instead of waiting for reassurance, for consistency, for prioritization, for romance, for someone to choose me, I started giving myself those things. I prioritized myself. I kept promises to myself. I became emotionally safe for myself. I celebrated myself, and I stopped abandoning myself. And when I did all of these things, I stopped chasing men who abandoned me too. I stopped attracting men who abandoned me. I stopped chasing men in general, and I let them come to me because I was magnetic and I knew what I was worthy of. And if you think about it, like physiologically, our bodies as women, when it comes to creating life, and you think about the egg that we have inside of us chooses the sperm. It allows the sperm to come in and infiltrate and create life. It's very selective, and it doesn't do anything other than exist and pull in the sperm. The sperm has to do all of the chasing. So women should also be doing nothing but focusing on itself, on themselves, not itself, on themselves, and creating this magnetic presence that draws in men. And I can go on a whole tangent about that, but I won't. I will not right now. We are going to keep it short and sweet. And if you liked what you heard and you want to get more information on the egg and the sperm and how it affects the way that we date and who we attract and how to get our men to treat us the way that we want, then join the devotion code, okay? If your self-image still says that you are the almost girl and it is low, if your creator field is still operating from old patterns, you will continue to attract the same men in different bodies. You will continue to attract the same relationship in different relationships. And we don't want that. We want to attract a man who calms you, who chooses you, and who doesn't leave. So if that's something that you're interested in, join the devotion code. It's a 7-day immersion where I'll walk you through the exact shifts that helped me stop attracting emotionally unavailable men and start attracting a relationship where I feel chosen, calm, secure, and deeply loved. All right, guys, that's all I've got for you today. If you like this episode, let me know in the DMs. I appreciate you so much for being here. And as always, we will chat soon. Bye. If you love this episode, make sure you follow Intuitive Flow so you don't miss the next conversation. And if you're loving the show, leave a 5-star rating and review. It helps more women find this podcast and finally break the cycles they've been feeling stuck in. You can find me on Instagram or TikTok at MichaelaWallet_. And if you're ready to go deeper into rebuilding your self-trust, raising your standards, and cleaning up your energetic hygiene, check the show notes for ways to work with me below. And remember, the life you want is not out of reach. You just need to become the woman who can hold it. Until next time, keep flowing.